Lyme's disease. IGG is one of the most respected labs in the world for testing Lyme's disease. Only recently, while taking Thundergod vine, did my symptoms subside. The following two slides show a move from positive in 2008 to negative in 2015 using the same laboratory and the same physician. Okay, so here is the Lyme's test by IGG. You can see 2008 on the left column is positive for IGG, IGM, which is short-term and long-term exposure measurement. And in 2015, you could see that they're both negative, which is wonderful. Okay, so here is Babesia, which was making my skin literally feel like it was going to crawl off my body by 10 o'clock every day for many years. And so here you can see in 2008, it was positive, but only recently did that stop. That symptom subsided, and so hence prompted me to have my blood work redone. And here we see in 2015 it's negative. Okay, so special note on the blood work. Some of the readings are consistent with someone that was vaccinated for Lyme's. I was never vaccinated for Lyme's disease. I have only been taking Thundergod vine. However, since HDAC inhibitors inside Thundergod vine make pathogens visible to the body's immune system, it may be being picked up on the blood work as a vaccine. Okay, so in my opinion, as I have stated many times in the past, this herb does act like a natural vaccine from within the body, and its method of action may stretch far, far beyond Lyme's disease, as has been reported in a plethora of testimonials. All right, so I've played this slide before, but it's super important that people really understand this. So HDAC inhibition acts like antiviral software for the body by separating the histones and the DNA spirals, so that the infection becomes readable by your immune system, and the immune system can mount the proper immune response. So you could see on the left how it's all clumped up, and you could see that would be difficult for anybody to understand if it was data. And here you can see on the right that the histones and the DNA are separated and hence are in a readable format. And when disease can be read, well, of course, it picks it up as disease and it mounts a proper immune response, which, again, the blood work is showing that as if I were vaccinated. But you can see that the vaccination really comes from within the body, meaning that the body just sees the disease and mounts an immune response internally, which is the best way. Okay, so in my opinion, in most cases, infected DNA cannot be read or transcribed, meaning when the DNA is read, when it gets to that clump, it's kind of like the train stops. It can't read over that, okay, which we're going to talk about more in 2 minutes. The infected DNA over time prevents many cell functions, but can also produce inflammatory viral proteins from the protein factories for their own purposes. So a lot of people with Lyme's have high yeast and some other things, and so you could see when it takes over your cell machinery, and it also can produce proteins that it wants to produce, how you would have a lot of negative things happening to your body. The ribosome is the factory that takes that bad code, not knowing it's bad code, and it converts it into these things that the bad guys want to make. Okay, so that's basically how you have it. I mean, how it is. This little link on the bottom is a little video that's a 3D animation of how your DNA is read, which I find literally life-changing just to understand that. And I hope everybody clicks on this link and checks it out. Okay, so the big picture, NFKB and Lyme's. It appears, however, that this is a cut and paste from a research article, and the link's here on the bottom. But it appears that bacterial or parasitic infections activate NFKB. Okay, well, for it to activate NFKB, it has to be at the DNA level, because DNA is what NFKB is read from. Okay, so basically, what we're saying here is that Lyme's disease has an aspect of it goes all the way back to your body at the DNA level, and this article, if you click and read on it, you'll see how the various co-infections of Lyme's affect your DNA by what they describe it in these articles as NFKB. But we're going to explain that in 2 minutes, so it won't be Greek to you. NFKB is the bad signals that come off of your DNA, basically, okay? And then here's the world of disease going around that signaling pathway, which really isn't a signaling pathway, it's just a classification of bad signals. They call it a pathway just to confuse people, but it's really not that. But anyway, NFKB is the nomenclature they use to designate really virally infected signals that go to the protein factory. Okay, it's really quite simple. Okay, what do you have to take home from all this? What's really important is triptolide and cholesterol are active compounds within Thundergod vine, and they're both NFKB inhibitors. That's really what you got to put in your pocket and take home. Okay, they're really more than that. They're technically HDAC inhibitors, but you know, it's just semantics at some point. Okay, summary. We are making the case with reference articles, blood work, and comments within the blood work that there is a DNA aspect to Lyme disease and the various co-infections cited within the articles. We're also stating that Thundergod vine may be making the infections visible to the immune system through its built-in HDAC inhibitors, cholesterol, and triptolide, which are classified also as NFKB inhibitors. Okay, so hence, the body mounts a proper immune response, as has been reported by people suffering with various diseases. Okay, the link here is basically the plant molecule explaining that how terpenoids work, the different molecule lengths, and how these plant molecules really are quite amazing. So here's the link for you to check that out. And to contact us, it's thundergodcures.com, Facebook One Herbal Disease, Facebook Timothy Telymonde, phone number 732-895-7786, email telymonde@icloud.com. And these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, or these products are not intended for diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. And thank you for watching this slideshow, and we do hope that it helped you and your friends with Lyme's or an other ailment that you may have that this applies to. Thank you.